So anytime I start consulting with the company, I ask them a series of questions that I figure out if they are ready for good product management change. And I tailor my tactics based on it. Like if you are not willing to change some of the parts of the company, I'll say, I can come in and I can train all of you, but I'm not going to spend 40 hours of my week working with you because I don't think we'll get very far unless you're willing to change these things. If you're willing to change these things, I'll give you my time, right? Like we'll work together. And it's a process. Some companies are not there. Some will come back to me in a year and say, okay, now we're ready. So it's about knowing where you are. And I give the same advice to product managers. Like, can I do my job? Try to figure out what's causing the problem. So I try to figure out how's the strategy set for the company, right? Is there a clear vision? I go around, I ask everybody, like, what's the vision of the company? If nobody can tell me the vision of the company, something's broken, right? Like something's broken, like really far above you. So eventually I ask the CEO, like, what's the vision of the company? If he can't tell me, that's a problem. But if he or she can tell me, it's not getting trickled down correctly, right? So you're kind of diagnosing where is the problem and what we're doing. And then I ask people, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, what's the goal? What are you trying to achieve? And if they can't give me an answer there, I know that there's something wrong with the goal setting, right? So now we've got a problem with the vision trickling down into goals, a clear strategy, and how to get there. So it's more about focus. If you are trying to evaluate as a product manager, like, can I actually survive in this company? Can I actually thrive? I have those conversations with your manager. I would sit down with your manager and say, what do you see as the vision of the company? What do you see as the goals? Say, I don't understand, see if you can understand, if they can explain it to you. If they can, usually that's enough to get you going. If they can't, then you're going to try to figure out, like, it's above my manager, right? It's above my sphere of influence. And maybe your manager wants to take that on and go fight for you guys to know that. And that's great. Now you have support. Now you have a place to kind of stay and you can work on what you need to work on because you have somebody who'll fight with you. But if you don't have that support, if you don't have somebody who's willing to go to bat and figure out the why so that you know how to do your job, that's where I start to go, is this something I can really change? Is it something I can influence, or is it not? Is it like well beyond my control? There are things like processes I think that teams can take ownership of and change themselves. I see so many teams that have like a learned helplessness behind process where they're like, well, Scrum tells me to do it this way, so I have to do it this way. Again, why? Scrum tells me I have to do. Who is standing over you with a shotgun telling you that you have to do it that way? Nobody, right? Like, it's almost nobody. Sometimes their managers are saying that, so I'll go talk to their managers, or I'll say, have a conversation with your manager. Explain the thing you need to change to be more successful. And I say, every week, like, you have a retro, right? Take that retro. In that retro, you should be discussing what to do to improve. So what's one small thing you can do, introduce you to your team to improve? What's one small thing you can do? And every day, try to get better with that. There are so many things that are within the sphere of control of a team, but they won't take ownership of it. They don't step up. And they say it's because of pressure from management. And sometimes it really is. Sometimes you just can't get away from that. I'd say 9 out of 10 times. So I hear managers who are like, I wish my teams would just step up and take ownership. So where's this disconnect coming from, right? Like, if you talk to your manager and you include them and you explain why, almost everybody I've seen, if you can give a really good case to the people above you about why you're doing the things you're doing, they respond really well to that. Like, they want you to come in, they want you to take ownership of it, they want you to do your best you can possibly do.